Most English speakers' stress levels spike when French gets fast and messy. I used to be the same way, translating every word, falling behind, and freezing up. But this 5-minute imitation technique has done more to help me understand real-life French than anything else. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how it works, whether you're sitting at your computer or on the go, without studying any new words, so you can finally keep up with native speakers. Allez, c'est parti! Most English speakers try to understand French the way they were taught, word by word. You translate in your head, and by the time you've done that, the French person is already 3 sentences ahead. That's not a you problem, by the way, it's a training problem, and it's fixable. When French is spoken fast, you don't hear separate words, you hear chunks, clusters of sound. That's why at the boulangerie or in your latest radio episode, it sounds like one long word. And once you train your ear for chunks, everything starts to shift. So listen to this.
T'as vu ça où?
It means, where did you see that? That's it. You can learn the grammar later. Right now, just lock that sound to meaning. So watch me.
T'as vu ça où?
T'as vu ça où? T'as vu ça où? T'as vu ça où? Notice it's basically like this. It runs together. And that's the game. Hear a chunk, get the meaning, repeat it until it feels like yours. And when you treat it like a game, by the way, this practice gets so much easier and more fun. And once your mouth can make the chunk, your ear starts recognizing it in real conversations. In a second, I'll show you why 5 minutes a day stops you freezing in real conversations, because you're catching the chunks, not chasing words. But first, here are the 2 ways to practice it. Only one of them needs a desk. First, the sit-down way. This is a 5-minute focused shadowing session. You pick a short clip of real French on the website Youglish, YouTube, a podcast, a song, a line from a series, whatever. You listen, you get the meaning, and you shadow the chunk until it starts to feel natural. Because at the beginning, it never feels natural. 5 minutes, that's it. One short session where your only job is sound, meaning, repeat. Now, if you're like me and you find it hard to be disciplined and sit down in front of a computer and practice shadowing every single day, then number 2 is going to be for you, or at least mix and match numbers 1 and 2. Number 2 is the no desk way, and it's what I found to be the most effective and fun. The strongest reps often happen nowhere near a desk. Once a chunk is lodged in your memory, you can replay it anywhere. Walking, doing the dishes, waiting in a queue, in the car. It's not studying, just a quiet replay. The best way to think of this is like a game. And yes, it is speaking practice too, but the real win is in listening. When your mouth learns the sound, your ear gets better at catching it at speed. I listen to music while I do other things and imitate the singers or rappers. Having lyrics repeat a lot throughout one play of the song means I get a lot of practice. I call these shadowing snacks, tiny portable reps, and they add up fast. So 5 minutes a day needn't be in one go. It can be spread across all 16 of our waking hours. And the key thing in making this effective as possible is to be consistent. And I've found that by doing this in small snacks really helps me stick to it and be really, really consistent. Now, how should you pick the chunks that you shadow? Well, I recommend that you pick chunks by instinct. This is the really empowering part. Here's how you start to train without overthinking it. Pick a phrase you sort of know, but that you never quite catch when a French person says it at full speed. The ones that make you blank for half a second and then you go, ah. So for example, vous payez comment? You know what it means, how are you paying? But in real life it comes out quickly, glued together. And the important word, comment, lands at the end, which is weird for English speakers, right? We used to say, how would you like to pay? Now here's the win. Once you lock in vous payez comment as the chunk, you start hearing the same pattern everywhere, because French does this all the time. Sentence, comment, sentence, où, sentence, quand. Not as grammar, but as a shape your ear starts to recognize. So next time in real life you hear vous payez comment, don't analyze it, just notice, oh, that chunk again. Replay it once when you step outside. Replay it again later that day. One quick snack rep after another. And the next time someone says it at the counter, your brain doesn't have to translate, it just catches it. Better yet, you'll understand vous faites comment, vous vous appelez comment, and something like tu vas y aller comment, much, much faster because you've got the shape embedded. So you've got the method, one focus session and snacks throughout the day, chosen by feel. Don't overthink it. In the moments that matter. Now, let's get into why this works for comprehension, because once you understand what's changing in your ear, 5 minutes a day becomes an easy decision. There are a few reasons, and here are the big ones. Reason number one is chunks. Most English speakers try to hear French word by word. That's not how spoken French shows up in real life. Fast French isn't fast words, it's fast phrases delivered as a single unit of sound. You've felt this. Someone starts a sentence, you catch the first word, and then the rest disappears. That's not because they spoke too fast, it's because you're still trying to decode word by word while they're firing whole chunks. Check out this example of another chunk.
En français, je sais pas si...
Je sais pas.
En français, je sais pas si...
Je sais pas. In your head, it shouldn't be je sais pas. It should be something like je sais pas, with I don't know attached to it. One unit, one meaning.
Je sais pas.
And shadowing is how you make that recognition automatic. Because once you've got chunks, you stop just hearing French, you start predicting it. And that's what ends the freezing. So reason number two is prediction, but not prediction like guessing the next word, something far more useful. In English, you're not waiting for each word. You're slightly ahead. Your brain is already expecting what comes next. In French, that reflex isn't automatic yet. So every sentence hits you cold. No head start, just sound. And that's what causes the freeze. You felt it. They say one sentence, you smile, and inside you're thinking, what did they just ask me? Shadowing builds the head start, not by teaching you to guess, but by training your brain to recognize the shapes of real conversation. Is this casual? Is it my turn? Is a question coming? Here's a perfect example. Listen to the first two words. They give you a head start.
Toi, t'en penses quoi? À qui la faute?
Et toi, t'en penses quoi?
Toi, t'en penses quoi? À qui la faute?
Now listen again. Same meaning, but notice where the question word lands.
Je sais pas, t'en penses quoi, toi?
T'en penses quoi, toi?
Je sais pas, t'en penses quoi, toi?
These are the same question, but notice what you get early. The moment you hear toi, you know already what's happening. The conversation is turning to you and an opinion question is coming. So when the rest arrives fast, you're not caught off guard. Your brain is ready. And in the second version,
Je sais pas, t'en penses quoi, toi?
t'en penses quoi, toi? The question word lands at the end. In school, that can feel confusing, but once you've shadowed it, it doesn't trip you up. It confirms exactly what you were already expecting. Et toi, t'en penses quoi? T'en penses quoi, toi? It's so fun just to imitate and get closer to natural French. This is what chunks give you beyond vocabulary. Little signals like du coup, bah écoute, c'est-à-dire, enfin. They tell you what's happening before the important nouns and verbs even arrive, but only when you've chosen to shadow them. Shadow enough of them in real context and you start reading the conversation in real time. You hear when someone's about to answer, when they're hesitating, when they're wrapping up, and the moment you start following rather than reacting, the freeze starts to disappear. Reason number three, the mouth teaches the ear. So prediction explains why chunks help you follow French. But here's why the imitation part matters, and it's not what you'd expect. You've probably heard or read a phrase dozens of times and still not recognized it when a native said it. That's not a memory problem. It's usually because your ear hasn't been trained to notice that sound at speed. Here's the weird part. When your mouth learns to produce a chunk, the way it runs together, your ear gets sharper at spotting that exact sound when someone else says it. They train each other. So let's do it now. Listen first.
T'as vu ça où?
Now say it with me. Don't worry about sounding perfect, but exaggerate it if you need to, so it almost feels like you're playing a character.
T'as vu ça où?
T'as vu ça où? T'as vu ça où? T'as vu ça où?
T'as vu ça où?
And here's what you'll notice next. That phrase will start jumping out at you in real life. And not because you studied it, because your mouth made it, so your ear can finally catch it. It can seem trivial, but the difference between saying it in your head and actually saying it is huge when it comes to recognizing it. So repeat your chunks a lot. It's never too much. Reason number four is real French versus textbook French. Here's one that frustrates almost every English speaker in a real French conversation. You learn something like il y a. You know what it means. But in real life, people rarely say il y a as three clean words. They say ya or ia. Y a pas de souci. Check this example out.
Tu m'offres un café?
Mais y a pas de souci.
Mais y a pas de souci. Mais y a pas de souci. Mais y a pas de souci.
Mais y a pas de souci.
Your ear isn't broken. It's just been trained on a version of French that native speakers don't actually use out loud. Imitating authentic material closes that gap because you're not imprinting classroom French. You're imprinting real daily French until it stops sounding like a surprise. Reason number 5, speed. Shadowing also recalibrates you to native speed. Most learners process French at a comfortable pace, but nowhere near real conversation speed. Shadowing doesn't let you slow it down. You keep up or you fall behind. And it's that gentle daily pressure that makes native speed start to feel normal. One of my students, Jim, put it perfectly. He said, for some of the time, I was almost getting that they seem to be speaking slower illusion. The more you listen to real, fast French, the more it seems to slow down. Reason number 6 is tolerance. It also trains you to keep going when you miss something. When you shadow, you can't stop and rewind mid-phrase. You stay in it. That's the exact skill you need in real conversations. Not freezing, not rewinding in your head, just staying in the flow. And finally, reason number 7 is daily compounding. 5 minutes a day beats 1 hour a week. It has been found that your brain locks patterns in during sleep. So small daily reps compound fast. 1 chunk a day is over 300 pieces of real French per year. That's not nothing, right? That's fluency built quietly in the margins of your day. Et toi, t'en penses quoi? You're not behind because you're bad at French. You're behind because nobody showed you what spoken French is actually made of and what to listen for. Chunks, signals, shapes, the sounds native speakers use on autopilot, the ones that never make it into textbooks. And every time you shadow one of these chunks, it moves from the didn't catch it pile to the mine pile. That's the metric. Not perfect comprehension, not fluency overnight, just one more piece of real French that's now automatic. T'as vu ça où? That's real French. And now it's yours. Et toi, t'en penses quoi? Leave me a comment with one phrase you keep hearing in France but never quite catch at full speed. I read them all and I'll use them for future examples. If you want your first chunks ready to go without overthinking, the free French Confidence Starter Kit linked below is a good place to start. It includes a list of filler words and everyday phrases that real French people use constantly. Take any one of them, search it up on the website Youglish, and you've got your first shadowing session. Now click the next video because I'm going to show you 3 things native speakers do to words that make expats freeze. And once you can spot them, French stops sounding like a blur.